Hi, this is Mark from Spectra Web Designs. This is a simple video just to cover how to put your website into under construction, how to update pictures and how to update text. So it's a fairly straightforward video, but it's one I suggest if you've got a few videos from me with a new website is to watch this one first. So when you've signed in, you will be faced with this dashboard panel. It's called a dashboard, and this black line goes across the top of the page, and it will go across the top of the page until you go right into edit mode. So if we just select what I did there was I hovered over, visit site is there. I just tend to open up the page, and on the keyboard there's a CTRL at the bottom left. Press that in, and then left click on the mouse over this, and you set up a new page, a tab on your browser. Sorry, I got lost there. And that, just want to highlight really, this black bar stays across until you get into the editing mode. This is a mock-up website which I've done just for, I'm going to do a few of these tutorials. So this is it, and to sign out, once you've signed in the usual way, you'd be faced with this. You can come down here and then you get into the editing side of stuff. To sign out, you go on the far hand side and then you drop down and click log out. So you just hover over it, move over to the left, and then hover over log out and then click. That's that. So what we're going to do, we come on to this part and we're going to go into the page that we want to edit. Now in this case, I'm just going to look at pages. I've got the home page set up. Now I build my websites using Elementor within WordPress. It's brilliant software, and you have to click that to get into it to edit. So we click that. Now on this test page, I'm going to do pictures first. There's three ways you can do a picture. You've got a little widget here, which they call them widgets, like a little app thing, little widget. So if I go into this 6-box thing, and there's the image box, so you could, that is just something you drag onto the screen. There we go, and it's what we put a picture in. So that's cool. I'm going to remove that because I have one already set up. And then there's the one where I like doing these. You have one that goes right across the screen. There's that one I'm going to quickly show. And there's this one here, which goes in a column. So it's not one of these little widgets. It's not this one that goes across. It's when I've used one, and I will have used them, to go across a box or a column on a website. So, excuse my phone beeping away in the background. I'm going to touch this one first. So this is the widget one. Now, you would have had this already set up. So to change it, you click on the pen here, the top right. And the working part of what you're going to do is on the left. So you see the picture, click on it. And we're going to change it. I'm just going to put something else in. I'm going to use this. So that's one, if you've already got there, you would just click OK, click on that, insert, and it's in there. If you had taken a new picture you want to put in, you would go to upload files, and then you click select, and then you go to your folder on your website where you've saved your pictures. Okay, so there we go. You would select one of those. I'm just going to select this one. Click open. All these random Spectra pictures. And it sits there. Now, you've seen there's an option for captions. So I'm going to write your caption here. This is if you want words to appear under your picture. And if you've seen some of my later websites, you see that I have done that. So this is where I'd write that caption. So you then click insert. Now you can see it's in there. Now more often than not, this will be just a swap for swap on a picture. Now I've created a little border around there. If we just remove that, see, when you look at these little widgets and anything you touch, they got at the top, you've got content, style and advanced. Content is the bit you edit. So if it's text, you'll have an edit box there for the text, like so. If it's a picture, you'll have, what's on the light box? You'll have, this is where you click on the pen, the picture there to adjust. So that's where you adjust it. If you want to see the caption, there's custom caption. I love the fact it's not there. Attachment caption, that's why. Attachment caption. And you can see there's the write your caption here. So that's where it would go. And that, so if you needed style, sometimes when you upload a new picture, it might look a bit like that. So click on style. Try not to touch these two. You can play around with height a little bit. You'll find as soon as you change it, it goes really small. But if you start to bring it down, it's going to distort the picture. But you get you can play around with 2 or 3 little clicks on here. You know, if say was to do that, you know, you can see, look what happens. But if I wanted to do it sort of subtly, thinking, right, I'm going to fill this box because it didn't fill, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to use the height. And then we've got that. But say you got to just a little bit before, just do some fine tuning on here. You can get away, as you can see, with 3 or 4 clicks before it even starts to distort. So, you know, just play around with that gently. You've got the option here. This is actually new. I've not seen this before. Cover fit. So the fill, cover, and contain. So cover's quite good. So if you had a picture, cover, contain. So it's gone to the shape of the picture because I did distort it on the height, if you remember. Fill. So play around. These should be done. Normally when you put a new picture in, you'll see when I do this. This is new. I'm quite pleased that's there. I'll have a play with that later. But what we're looking at is a click for like for like. So you'll be changing one picture for another, and that will look fine. That will go in there. The one underneath, and when you've done it, click update. Always click update. And I'll just explain now that when you go into, so say for example, let's do this. I'm going to duplicate a panel, and I'm going to set this one so you can only see it on a tablet. And the reason being is I want to show you when you will see this sometimes if I've had to do a different version for a tablet or a mobile or both. You might see it twice. So you'll come into your page and you'll see this a couple of times and you'll think, what is all this grey stuff? What that is it's set up for one of the other responsive settings, mobile. So click down here to the left, you can see responsive, and you get the options at the top of the screen: desktop, tablet, mobile. So this is how you check. Whatever you do, you've just got to check to make sure it looks right in everything we do. So we click on tablet. So now what we do is, so in tablet, I'm just going to change this so it's more authentic, because you wouldn't see the top one. You'd only ever see one. So I'm going to change that so you don't see it in tablet. So this is more realistic. So the desktop version is grayed out. This is the tablet version. So you get 2. So if you have this, you have to change the picture twice because you'll realize that the other one's still sitting there. So don't get caught out. And if you want to see what something looks like, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can click on this panel, it gets rid of it. Now, when you go into tablet mode, you really should just double check it on a tablet, or if you've got a large mobile phone. I've got an iPhone 11, I turn on its side and it is the same as a tablet. So you can start to see what it'll look like on that, so you can double check. And then if you go into mobile view, it's more portrait, and then you can have a look to see what it looks like on your mobile. Now that hasn't been set up. So whenever you do some changes, just flick through to make sure it looks good on everything. And if you need to tweak it, you just click on the, let's bring that out again on that tab, click on the pen, and then you can make any changes by clicking on the media. If you need to slide it over to make it fit, you can. You can see I've clicked contain to make the picture fit in there better. It's all about playing around to make it work, but really a lot of what you'll do with me will be a click for click. It will be done and it will still look exactly the same. You just need to know where you can just fine tune these things. So if you see the grayed out areas, it's because it's either in tablet, mobile. You might find you have 3 of these, 2 are grayed out, 1 you can see, because there's 1 for each. It's just literally what I've designed may have had to been designed 3 times to make it work. And always click update. So that's the second of the images. Or first of the images. The second one is this one when I do it in the column. Now this one's a little bit different. You click in the corner here and you go to style. And that's where the picture is. And you change it as normal. Now, one of the things you've got here, where we saw on the other one, the new area I was telling you about with the cover sizes, etc., they're automatically underneath here. So you would position center, especially if you've got a large picture. This sort of fitted quite nicely, but a large picture would be center. And scroll means it sits with the page. And no repeat is, this would always sit there fine. If you've got a really large picture or even a little bit smaller that's fitted, it's been made to fit because we've put cover, we've selected cover, you might find that if you have no repeat or repeat, it would you'd start to see 1.5 of them. So quite often we set to default or set to no repeat. You don't want to suddenly see another one creeping in half of it again. And cover means it will fill that box. Now, because we've used a panel, we've used this here. If you click on it, you can see it says spacer, because without it, when these columns need something in them, and it could be a text box, you could drag and drop a text box in there. But more often than not, I would have either used a spacer or I would have put text in front of a picture. So you can see if you slide that, you can see, you play around and get it to the size you want. And you can also move this. This is more for change that more in desktop mode. You'd have to play around different ways, but I'm only teaching you how to change pictures and text. I'm not teaching you to create a website. So that's that is how you do that picture. And this one, see, these pictures I would say keep to about 900, because they've got lightbox, which means when you click on it they fill the page. You don't want that picture too small. Keep them around 900. So if you clicked on this picture, actually that's 800 by 400. If you've uploaded a picture from your mobile phone, that's going to be 2000 something by 2000 something. They're probably about 3 meg size, which would slow the page down if you've got too many of them. Then you need to resize it. So to resize it, click on edit image. So you've uploaded it, edit image, and resize it here. So I would say if you're using a picture to cover a whole top part of a website from left to right, 1600. You can go less, but 1600 will ensure it's crystal clear. Click scale and then back. This one's 800. I wouldn't really go too much under 800, because if it's on a light box, it's going to, when you click on it, it's going to come out and fill the screen. You don't want it too small. So if say for example, I'll change this to 750 so we can see how it works. Click scale and back, and then insert. Because it's so small, it still looks fine, but it's the light box you have to think about. And that is how you resize, and that is the things you have to think about. So about 900, keep these all about 900, because there's a light box. They're a picture you want to click on and come out. If you've not got a light box, you could, for something like this, go to about 600. You have to cover all sizes of computers. This one, because it's such a big picture, you need to say about 1600, because you have to think this has been recorded on a really huge screen, hence the reason the recording is a bit wide. So you have to cover the fact that a lot of people nowadays have a large screen. So to change this one, and again over the front of it is a slider, and I tend to keep these around about 500 550, otherwise they're massive when you get onto the page. On a mobile, around about 275 300, tablets 350 to 390. And then to change it, we use the blue tab in the middle. Click the 6 dots, go to style, and then you can see the option there to change the image. Now this scroll thing, if we change it to fixed, it does this. So you get that option. Now really you can only use this on pictures where the object within the picture is set back. If you'd had something that completely filled the screen, a bit like this monitor, you can see you start to lose it on fixed, even on scroll really, but you'll notice it more. But if you've got a picture and you've got something set back, this looks absolutely brilliant. So we click update, and that's how to do the 3 pictures. I'm going to stop this recording now and do my recording for text on another video. I was going to do it on one, but this is starting to sort of get quite a long video.